Hello and welcome to our final project presentation. I'm Sarkis.
I'm Herbert.
I'm Gerson Guzman.
I'm Mohammed.
I'm Frank.
And I'm Luis.
Let's get right into it. We have our overall project goal. We're going to establish why we're here. We're going to show you how we get our startup loan. It's all theoretical, but hopefully the government will say yes. We're also going to be talking about selling our baby, our company. What we don't want to do, but it's the only way to retire. And we'll show you what we do in our retirement. So our main project goal is the Sleeping Pods venture has to create as much wealth as possible in order to be able to retire with a good amount of money and a passive income on the side. So first things first, our startup loan. We have three different contenders for our loan. We have the U.S. Bank, the Bank of America, and American Express. As we can see here, we have Bank of America and U.S. Bank competing at 60-month loans because that's the highest they offer. And then American Express's highest loan term is 36 months. So it's a little bit shorter, but it's also super steep. But if we go with American Express, we save $1,500, like just about. So, potentially, but also we're a tiny business that needs that money. So we're just going to go with the lower monthly payment from U.S. Bank. With this $45,000 loan, we're going to take 12 initial sleep pods. It's $3K per sleep pod, $350 to get it fully installed into your business and nap and happy. We're going to need workers, especially technicians, to take care of our sleep pods. Around $15 an hour, because minimum wage is the right way to treat your customers. Your employees. It takes around $2,000 to fully train our technicians, and each technician can manage around 15 sleep pods on their own. Our sleep pods themselves are going to be charging $10 every 15 minutes of use, because studies have shown that 15 minutes is the right time to take your nap. We're going to go very bare minimum like profits here, 4 times a day, 5 days a week, just in case. And our first month, we're going to take all these profits into account, and we're going to make only $5,000. Anything after that, it's going to be around $7,000 a month. Once we have our first 6 months to, show the government to look at us, we're a small business that's growing, we're going to be making around $24,000 a month at the 6 months. So it's like a huge jump from the $5,000 I showed you earlier. And we're going to take that money and their growth, and we're going to take it to the back to U.S. Bank to get an SBA loan for $4.5 million to get our 1,500 sleep pods to get us going. Sadly, that 1,500 sleep pod is going to cost us a monthly payment of $42,900. And at the end of all of this, we're going to be giving U.S. Bank $600,000 back for letting us borrow their money.
So the next step after starting up our company would be to calculate the income tax, because we don't want to get hit with tax evasion. So our first step would be to calculate the estimated tax rate, which is done by adding up the employment taxes, the state taxes, and the federal taxes. And these tax numbers can pretty much be found online depending on which state you're opening your company in. And we're opening our company in California, so the taxes are a bit more. So after adding those numbers up, we ended up with an estimated tax rate of around 54%. And then once we get that, we next need to calculate our net income. And we do that by subtracting the employee cost and the cost of maintaining the pods from the yearly income. And as you can notice, the cost of maintaining the pods go up and up each year because the pods tend to deteriorate and just technical issues pretty much. So once we subtract employee costs and the cost of maintaining the pods from the yearly income, we end up with our net income. And when we get our net income, we just multiply it by the estimated tax rate. And with that, we have our income tax, which we need to pay each and every year.
And now we want to look at the present worth of our business, and this will help us evaluate and get a better understanding of what the future costs and revenues for our business will be. For our purpose, we'll look at 60 years into the future, and we break down our calculations into two parts: the sleeping pods and our employees. The sleeping pods are our main source of income, and we can see that the present worth of these sleeping pods is $93,000. For our employees, we see that we'll be losing a little bit more money at $132,000. Now for our future worth, we do plan on selling this company, and we will talk about this later in the upcoming slides, but the future worth of our company will be a great bargaining point, and we calculate these numbers using the same breakdown we used in the last slide. The sleeping pods have a future worth of 230 million, while our employees will have a future worth of 23 million. Subtracting the employees' future worth, we could come up with the future worth for the business of 205 million. This number will be very profitable, and we can show to our investors who are trying to buy our business that this business is very well made.
The last 6 years have been well for us, and now we're thinking about selling the company itself. We have shown that it is profitable. We calculated our numbers and have found that we have been accumulating 29.7 million a year the past few years, and that number is only increasing. Our 1,500 pods that we have bought at 3,000 each now make almost $20,000 a year. Next slide, please. We have also calculated the amount we have been paying our employees yearly. As shown before, that number has come out to be around 3 million a year. We assigned one employee for 15 pods, which would give us around 100 employees hired for all of our sleeping pods. Each employee goes through training paid by us, and each employee has a yearly salary of $30,000. Next slide. So after showing all our numbers to potential buyers, we sold our company at a price of 25 million, giving each one of us $4 million.
All right, thanks, Herbert. So this next section is gonna walk us through a list of investments that will help us garner passive incomes over time. One avenue that we can take after selling the company is to invest our leftover funds into a long-term bank CD. So a bank CD is a type of savings account that is low risk but high reward after a certain amount of time. So when selecting a CD, it's important to shop around for different banks because each bank will offer different terms. These terms can include the APY, which affects the amount of profit you make per year, the early withdrawal penalties, which could cost you a number of months of interest for withdrawing the money before the term ends, and the term lengths, which is the amount of time that you leave your money in the account. Now, these four credit unions, Abound, Superior Choice, Lafayette Federal, and Affinity Plus, are the best credit unions that we'll be going forward with. Next slide. If you take a look at the chart from our research, if we end up investing $1 million into a CD for a 5-year term, this will lead to Abound and Superior giving the best outcome for us, and it'll net us about $67,000 in profit. While Abound and Superior Choice both have nearly identical results, Abound does offer a 59-month term, which gives it the edge over Superior Choice. Next slide.
All right. Another form of passive income is with buying a home. Here in California, the average cost of a home is about $800,000. We can see that after 10 years, and given the rate of interest that these homes accumulate, we see that we can get almost $3 million net after we sell this property. Ownership of a home is a way of combating inflation, which this graph is represented that, given its ups and downs of the market, we ultimately see the trend going forward and up. Next slide. And again, with the CD account, say that after 10 years, our initial deposit of $2 million with a rate of at least 1.3%, we can see that after 10 years, we get about $275,000 plus our initial investment. Again, we can't touch that money till the 10-year period is over, unless we want to face a penalty. Another form of investing we can do is with the stock market. Again, take, for example, the S&P 500. Our main goal is, again, to beat the rate of inflation. And we can see that it has risen and it has surpassed it 10 times over, 206% compared to the 18.84% that the rate of inflation has had over the last 10 years. And then with retirement, obviously we don't want to be thinking about, how to gain more wealth now. We want to just spend it all. We can buy a smaller home, a vehicle of your choice. It can be a luxury vehicle. It can be any kind of vehicle, luxury goods, assets, cars, whatever you want to, boats, whatever you want to pay. But unfortunately, these liabilities, I guess you can say, they do have a depreciation, which is basically the future where it's just calculated, subtracted interest. Take for a boat, for example, we see that a boat worth $600,000 after 10 years is worth practically nothing. So the best outcome for us to take is probably for us to just keep it until it breaks. And again, this is about it. There's obviously more examples to choose from, but this is all we've outlined for you today. Thank you.